Hello my friends. So in today's video we're going to just quickly talk about what happens when you use an adapted lens on a Sony mirrorless E-mount system. So today we have the Sony A7. This is my actual camera with the battery grip on there. This is a camera that I've been shooting now for the last about a year and a half. And with that I've been using the MC11 Sigma E-mount to Canon EF adapter. So this is definitely one of the more preferred lens adapters out there. It works really well as far as autofocusing abilities. It has the electrical components to actually adapt to Sigma lenses, Canon EF and EFS lenses, or actually no, sorry, just EF lenses. And it typically works really well. But so we're going to talk about kind of what happens as one of the drawbacks when it doesn't really work that well. So putting this back on here, I have the Canon 100mm macro. This guy right here, and this is the older generation version of the Canon 100mm macro. So this is an autofocus lens, yes, but this lens, when I actually connect it here on my Sigma MC11 adapter on my Sony A7, the main issue with this particular lens is that the autofocusing ability doesn't actually work. So if we go over here, make sure it's set to autofocus, it just kind of just stays at its maximum, and it just stays there. So now this is kind of one of the problems that happens when you use adapted lenses. If you're using more current lenses that are from, let's say, 2000 and higher, this one is originally from in the late 90s, the electrical components are different. So even though this is an autofocus lens, if I had this on a Canon body, it works fine, but with the MC11 adapter, it doesn't always work with every single lens. The older generation lenses, their autofocusing electrical components are actually different, and that's kind of just one of the caveats with using adapted lenses. Now, if I use for example, if I use my Sigma 50mm f1.8 lens, it works perfectly fine. But with this particular lens, it's too old, so it doesn't actually work. So that's kind of one of the caveats with using adapted lenses. And when I use the 100mm macro, it has to be in manual focus, which it is a macro lens. If I shoot at a wide open aperture, it's pretty much impossible to focus. Thankfully, I bought it to shoot specifically beauty photos, so I shoot at f10 or f11 anyways. So, and thankfully, we also have the manual focus assist on Sony mirrorless cameras, so it's not really a huge issue. But for you guys, just know that it's not going to be perfect. This is definitely an issue that you may run into if you're using adaptive lenses, and that's definitely one of the drawbacks with using the Sony mirrorless system. However, the main pro here is that I could actually use this lens at all. It actually works, right? Yes, it may not have autofocusing abilities, but I can still use the ring here to change its focusing manually, and that's not really a huge issue. And I have some great images that we've showcased on our channel as far as retouching videos that have actually been shot with this lens. There's actually a multitude of videos that we've published already that have been shot with just this lens. So I love it. I actually think it's great. However, I kind of do wish I would have gotten the updated version of this lens. Granted, it is a lot more expensive, roughly about $600 or $700, but it would have made more sense. So just keep that in mind when you guys are using adapters for your mirrorless cameras. It's not always going to be perfect. Every lens is going to be different. I looked into the research a little bit to make sure this was autofocus, but nonetheless, since I am using a lens adapter, it's just kind of going to be hit or miss. So just keep that in mind as you guys are out there looking for auxiliary or secondary manufacturers to be using on the Sony mirrorless system. It's not always going to be perfect, so just understand that may be a caveat, and you may have to just kind of adjust and use manual focus and manual aperture accordingly. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys. But that wraps up today's video. As always, my friends, hit that subscribe button right over here, and then hit that like button right there as well. And then shoot us a comment, man. Leave us a comment in the description below. If you have any questions, concerns, feedback for us on how we can improve things that you're seeing, or maybe issues and gripes that you've had with using electric lens adapters, and maybe some of the components and issues that you've experienced, and some of the lenses that have had some of these issues where it's been manual focus and manual aperture only. And then if you want to reach out to us, by all means, reach out to us on Instagram, Twitter, whatever that may be. Reach out to us, man. We absolutely respond, and we review every single message that we get, so hit us up. But until next time, my friends, peace out.